Well, hey friends, it's me, Pastor Doug, with another word of encouragement for the day for today, Friday, April 1st. This week, we are continuing our I Still Am series where we've been exploring the 7 I am statements that Jesus makes throughout the Gospel of John. Things like, I am the bread of life and I am the light of the world. And this week, we've been looking specifically at Jesus' statement in John chapter 11, where Jesus shows up at the tomb of a dead man, a man named Lazarus, and declares to Lazarus' sisters, I am the resurrection and the life. And you know the story. Jesus ends up raising Lazarus from the dead, even though he'd been dead for 4 days. Well, today I want to show you a passage out of the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verses 17 and 18. Interestingly, this is written by the same John that wrote the Gospel of John, but this is a vision that John has many years later on the island of Patmos, where he's been exiled. And while he's there, he has this vision that Jesus reveals himself to John and makes some startling statements, including this one in Revelation chapter 1, verse 17 and 18. These are the words of Jesus spoken to John, and he says this. He says, do not be afraid. I am the first and the last. I am the living one. He says, I was dead, and now, look, I am alive forever and ever. And then he closes with this statement, and I hold the keys of death and Hades. I love this. Jesus is declaring that he has power over death, and as exhibit A, he shows himself, right? He's saying, look, I was dead and now I'm alive. He's saying that's proof that I have the power over death. And I love this phrase. He says, I hold the keys of death. What does he mean by that? Well, in the ancient world, keys insinuated power. And think about it, it kind of makes sense. Like think of the power that you felt when you first got one of these, right? Your first car key, right? I mean, remember that. When you first got your very first car key, the kind of power and freedom that you had, right? You could go where you wanted to go and when you wanted to go there. I mean, it was this incredible sense of power. When I first started working here at the church, they gave me a set of these, a set of keys that let me have access to various rooms and doors and buildings here on our campus. When I first started, they gave me a key that had my name on it. And then later I got a key that said master. And I was kind of honored by that. And they said, no, it's not because you're the master. It's just, this is a master key and it opens most of the doors on campus. And I thought, well, when am I going to get a key that opens all the doors? And eventually I got a key that said Grandmaster. It said GM on it for Grandmaster. And then just a few years ago, I was finally given the grandfather of all the keys. It's a key that has the initials GGM, and that stands for Grandmaster. I thought, finally, I've arrived. I finally have access to all the doors on our campus. And then I find out that there's still a couple of doors that I still don't have access to, but maybe one day. My point is, keys represented power. And so when Jesus says, I hold the keys to death, what he's saying is, I have power over death. And then he demonstrated it in his own resurrection. He demonstrated in the resurrection of Lazarus. And friends, one day he's going to demonstrate his power over death when he resurrects all the believers to life eternal. Friends, that's the promise and the hope that we have in our faith in Jesus. Friends, I hope this encourages you today. We're just a couple of weeks away from celebrating Easter together. I hope that you're beginning to prepare your heart for that celebration. Hey, I hope you'll join us this Sunday. We're going to be gathering together to worship Jesus and to learn more about him. So please join us either in person or online, and then we'll pick these videos back up on Monday. We'll see you then.